Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to Talking Reds. This is Late Night Reds, and you're surprised to see me out here because it's usually Ryan doing the Late Night Reds. But I thought, you know what? I'll get back and I'll see if I can get a Late Night Reds tonight and give you some content for today and just basically recap the AC Milan game, recap the Liverpool loss, obviously 4-2 in the end. Some sliding got put on the score sheet for Liverpool, but it was a 4-2 loss. There has been many positives in these preseasons so far, and also a couple of negatives as well. We won't hide from the negatives in the games. If things need talked about, we will talk about them on here. Make sure you do hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new. I do apologise if anyone was wondering why I am late and why I haven't done a recap today or a match reaction or a match preview. I had a football match myself, so I've just got not back not so long ago. So I thought I'll give you guys a little recap of the AC Milan game, the Liverpool game. But I've watched it back. Very interesting lineup to start with Gravenberch going to centre back. And now we're seeing Arne Slot now saying Gravenberch could be a centre back potential option this season, which I'm not particularly happy about. But yeah, it is pre-season. We are trying to get everyone back in. Trying to get. Nice to see Florian Wirtz, by the way. Absolutely brilliant to see Florian Wirtz, by the way. I thought it was very interesting to see Gravenberch at centre back. I thought originally when I saw the team lineup, I thought, maybe he's trying Tyler Martin at centre back here or Tyler Martin at right back potentially. But then obviously when the game went out, Gravenberch was the centre back, which I thought, yes, he can play there in a game where, say, we're chasing a game like we did against Fulham last season. We chased the game, we need a free at the back. It's sort of like covered back. Gravenberch is not centre back. He's only just learnt the DM role. He's still number 8 here. And this whole thing of players have attributes they can play in different positions. Yes, absolutely. Especially midfielders. Midfielders are sensational. They've got pretty much every attribute you need as a footballer. Doesn't mean he can slot into certain positions that it shouldn't be slotting in for me. And there were times where I'm thinking, yeah, it's quite clear for me. Don't say Gravenberch is an option at centre back, and then he said it after the game that Gravenberch is an option at centre back, which I'm not too convinced about at all. I'm very concerned about the defence. If I'm honest, the attack is looking very good. I thought Rio, as Beaver said there, Rio Engamoa was unbelievable. And the thing I said it about him against Preston, he is not scared of playing. He is not scared of getting that ball down and running it as defender. He is confident as it gets. Same with Trey and Ione, both confident players, and that's what you want to see in the youngsters. Florian Wirtz is an old school winger. He likes to directly run at the players, and go wide. He doesn't come inside all the time. Salah come inside all the time. Gakpo comes inside all the time. Can get quite predictable sometimes, but Rio likes to get out wide. He likes to beat his man. And does he do that? He does it many times. Rio Engamoa is an absolute star, and we need to make sure he is developed properly into the team. I think it would be nice to see him get some first team minutes this season. Same with Trey Ione. I think the exact same thing with Trey Ione. I think he's sensational and very confident player. I think it'd be nice to see them get some first team minutes this season, but we need to bed him in properly. Absolutely properly. It was a 4-2 loss for Liverpool. Leao with the first for AC Milan, and an absolutely beautiful sentiment from Leao, obviously from his international teammate Diego Jota, obviously with the 20 sign put up for the finish, which is absolutely beautiful from Rafa Leao. And by the way, like Rafa Leao, I've spoken about Rafa Leao many times on this streams. Anyone that's been watching me on Talking Reds, a lot of people saying about him today. I've been mentioning Rafa Leao for quite a while. I've always said, look, he's got the foundations there to be a very good player. He needs coaching. He's got unbelievable technique. He's got pace. He's got power. He's got everything you want as a winger. He just needs coaching. That's it for me. I think he needs a little bit better coaching and decision making. He's 26 years old, still probably coming to his prime now. Rafa Leao should be one of the options out there if we were looking at left wingers. I've got to be honest. But like I said, we've got Rio Engamoa there anyway, so I'm not too bothered because we've got a start in our making as well. Would like to see Ping Pong in a foot race with Leao, said Jennifer. All about fitness. It absolutely is, Ben. I'm not looking too much into result, but I like to look at individual performances. I like to see who wants to show that they can click this season. Who wants to go out there and show that the first team. I'll tell you what, one person that did for me today was Szoboszlai. Not just the goal, everything else, his work rate, his off the ball movement, his ability on the ball as well as improving every single week. Dominic Szoboszlai is playing for his place, and he knows he has to play for his place. Obviously, he's lost his 10 position to Florian Wirtz number 10, but he's got to look elsewhere and get into that team at an 8 or whatever, into the central midfield too. And he is certainly pushing hard into that. I saw a lot of good things, some bad, but why is it with preseason? What annoyed me was other channels criticising us, saying that all supporters giving us flat watched us. Maria is so freaking exciting to watch, ready for some subs in PL. Rio and Gamoa is just really exciting. Him and Trey Ione are the stars, absolute stars. Oysten, we will go into this, mate. We will go into this. You said, do you think we need to switch centre back so that will affect us getting Isak? I've said it for a long, long time. We need to make sure we are prepped in every area of the pitch. Every area of the pitch. We will go on to that because I'm not happy about Gravenberch being an option at centre back. I'm not happy at all. Firebird says, Wirtz look class, unbelievable. Everything you see as Wirtz is exactly what he has been at Leverkusen. He is a natural 10. And there's no disrespect to Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai just is a fantastic player in himself, a fantastic midfielder. But what Wirtz gives in that number 10 is what not many players give out there. You've got to be a certain kind of player to play number 10. You've got to find those pockets. You've got to go those little intricate passes. The little 1-2s he did with Salah. I thought Elliott played all right as well, actually, first half. I thought him and Elliott, again, but they're the technical players. These are the ones that can find those little intricate passes. They're the ones that find those little pockets of juice up. Did I say juice then? It's because Firebird put juice in. There's pockets of space in between the midfield and the defence. That's where a proper number 10 finds and is hard to mark. A proper number 10 is hard to mark. Defenders don't know how to come out and stop him, or DM or whoever's in midfield don't know how to come back and leave elsewhere. A proper number 10 can be a key between winning games and not winning games. And Wirtz is absolutely class. And we've seen this in the two games already. In the game we've already, we've played him today, but I've seen it many, many years at Leverkusen. This is why he's one of the best technical players in world football, one of the best creators in world football, because he gives so much in that 10 position. But yeah, there was a lot of positives. Obviously, the result 4-2. There is negatives as well, and I will talk about the negatives on here. Everyone that knows me already or will go on to the season when you get to know me, I will absolutely talk about the negatives. If negatives need to be talked about, I won't be dressing anything up. You'll be getting the truth from me all season. If something needs to be said, it will be said on here. But yeah, I do think there's a lot of positives. Rian Gamoa, biggest positive. Florian Wirtz, unbelievable. I thought regarding Salah and Wirtz link up, I thought brilliant. I think Salah did try too much sometimes. I think he tried too many passes. It seemed to be with me, especially the first half, we tried walking the ball in the net. And it reminded me of Wenger in his later days at Arsenal. Wenger, unbelievable football Wenger played at Arsenal. But what he tried doing towards the end was trying to walk the ball. Too many passes sometimes. And I had a tiny bit of worry last year. Anyone that watched us last year as well in last seasons, I had a tiny bit of worry about what Slot does in terms of tactics. And I think I get him, like, wants to play football, wants to play possession plays football, wants to keep it passing, keep it moving. But sometimes we do too much. Sometimes there's too many passes. Sometimes you just got to let players play. You've got to let players play. Salah has enough in him to do something by himself. Wirtz has enough in him to do something by himself. Yes, you don't want to be greedy. Yes, you want to pass it around, keep the tactics going. But sometimes you just can't pass it. There's one moment in the first half where Wirtz and Salah were 1-2 and Salah passed it back to him when he had a chance to shoot. Is that instructions? Or is that Salah just making the wrong choice? I think it's instructions, personally, because we saw a lot last year. There were plenty of times last year we went on counter-attacks. And when we had a perfect chance to counter-attack, we turned back and started passing backwards again instead of just going for it. We had a chance to go score. I don't want to overplay And I absolutely love how Slot is very, very tactical minded, very tactical aware. He wants to play different. I said already, he wants to play different ways this season. He wants to try different formations at some point and have versatile players that can play different positions as well and covered areas. And that's why Ekatike is a good buy because he can cover so many areas, but he also can allow other players to come in that box rather than just the forwards. I'm just gonna get some chats up here, so I've missed a few chats. Sorry, I'm trying to talk at the same time whilst looking at the chats as well. Sob's going to be fit when he's in our team. He had for Szoboszlai to get in the team, but he's very, very important unless they do move to a centre back position. See, Liverpool lost their season today. Jonathan is in the comments laughing. I know for a fact Newcastle fans are going to be hate watching Liverpool every game now this season. Did you see the long cross to Frimpong? How easily controlled it? Just ran with the ball. Amazing. Frimpong, yeah. Again, Frimpong. Lightning quick. Unbelievable. Technically very, very good. Wrong decisions sometimes. Maybe the wrong ideas. But we seem to be using Frimpong as a winger, aren't we? We're using Frimpong as a forward rather than a defender, which is very, very interesting. Turn those notification bells on, smash those like and subscribe, says Beefy. Liverpool need a new goalkeeper. We don't need a new goalkeeper, Beefy. We don't, Jonathan, we don't need a new goalkeeper. We've got Alisson Becker, the best keeper in world football. Yes, Mamardashvili made that mistake. It happens. Keepers make mistakes. Sometimes defenders make mistakes. Midfielders people make mistakes. Players make mistakes. It happens. Yes, it was a poor, really bad mistake. I don't know what him and Kirkes were doing in the end. Again, trying to pass too much. That's what I think it's down to. We're trying to pass the ball too much. Sometimes, and again, this is why people get frustrated about passing out from the back a lot. Just sometimes it is actually okay just to kick it upfield. Kick it upfield. Sometimes there's not a pass on. Sometimes you're overpassing the ball. And I think that's what we've been doing today. But it's pre-season. It doesn't really matter. The result doesn't really matter. It's trying to get fitness, trying to get everyone gelling, the new players to gel into the team, new tactics. Because Arne Slot is trying to do different things this season. Obviously, with the new players coming in, he's going to try different things. And that is really what's all about. Yes, there are concerns. And for me, the concerns are defensively. And I question, I think there was only me and maybe another few that said about Kwanzaa. I don't know why. The Gomez injuries is a very big concern. Because I absolutely love Gomez. And if he's fully fit, he is easily enough. He's even good enough to start. He's that good of a player. But why have we got rid of Kwanzaa and kept Gomez if we're now looking at Gravenberch being a centre back? That makes no sense to me. So if what Arne Slot's saying, Gravenberch could be an option at centre back, what's the point in getting away Kwanzaa? It's very, very dangerous game you're playing there. We have got to get, for me, 2 centre backs. We've got to. And I said the same thing about with the midfield when the midfield was crumbling, and I saw the crumble happening, and everyone said, "Well, we've got Thiago." I didn't really count Keita as an option. I didn't really count at times Thiago as an option because it's so injury prone. You can't really classify him as an option. It's like a bonus. Thiago was just a bonus at the point when he got so injury prone. He was just when he was a fit, it's a bonus. I didn't classify him as an option. This is the exact same situation now with Gomez. If he's fit, brilliant. But I don't classify him as a real option. We've got 2 centre backs. Even Kanate has his injuries as well. So it's very, very, very worrying regarding that. And I won't beat around the bush on here. I won't just say, it's just pre-season. I'm not worried about anything. I'll be honest. I'm really worried about the centre back situation. Yes, we can buy all I want in terms of attacking wise. We're looking we always look good in attacking wise. We've got some brilliant attacking options. Midfield's looking okay. I think we still need a DM at some point. This season or next season, we definitely need a DM, a proper DM, a defensive-minded DM. But we are really leaving ourselves very, very short of that centre-back area. And as Beefy said there, we're not replaced Kwanzaa yet. But I still think it's not just Kwanzaa that we need to replace. We need two. I think we need two. Because we can't rely on Gomez. And having said that, is Konate really reliable in terms of injuries as well? And when Arne Slot saying there, Gravenberch is an option at centre back, no chance. Not for me. This smells of what it was back in 2020-21 when we left. We went into the season with 3 centre backs, 2 of them injury prone, and we cried about injuries because we fell off. We didn't prepare right that season. We didn't. The only injury that wasn't expected that season was Van Dijk. That was a freak injury. Gomez and Matip that season, Gomez and Matip got injured constantly before that. So why are we going to a centre back? Why are we going to a season with 3 centre backs, 2 of them injury prone? And we're doing the exact same now. We're doing the exact same now, unless we get another centre back in. We're going into the season with Van Dijk, Konate, and Gomez. Konate, Gomez are injury prone. And Konate potentially could be going to Real Madrid as well. That's another thing on the cards there. I just think it's very, very dangerous. And I don't want to... Gravenberch at centre-back is last resort. It's last resort. It's not an option. It shouldn't be an option. It's a last resort thing. Or in a game like we did against Fulham last season where we had to go for it, Gravenberch is still on the pitch, but he sort of like slopped back into a back 3 and everyone else can go for it. That's okay. That's absolutely fine by me. He should not be an option as centre-back. He should not be, it's Konate and Gomez, Van Dijk and Gomez and Konate, Gravenberch. It shouldn't be depth for centre-back. It should be last resort for me. I think it's very, very dangerous going into a season like that as well. James says, get Isak and Gehi in. What makes me wonder whether we will not go for Isak? We should be able to go get a centre-back. We should be able to go get 2 centre-backs on Isak. I'm sorry. We should be. Especially with the sales as well. When we talk about all the money we've got. Isak getting more and more likely by the minute. We're now going to give it a little bit of an update on Isak. There was one earlier. I think there's a strong possibility that Isak can wait. Said Beefy. A lot will depend on Ibu staying or leaving for Gehi as he wants to start. I think there's times where I think Gehi will start, even if Konate is here. At the end of the day, like I just said, Konate doesn't play every game. He's quite injury prone. But also at the same time, I think he's good enough to push Konate. What centre-back would be good for Liverpool this season, said Jonathan. Gehi wasn't selected for Palace last friendly. Fabrizio stated a symbol regarding Gehi. I wonder why. I've not seen anything about Romano and Gehi, actually, mate. Not seen anything about that. I've seen Vissa kicking up a fuss with Newcastle, with Brentford about Newcastle, which is interesting to say the least. So what centre-back do I want to get, said Jonathan. I think Gehi would be perfect. I think he's good enough to take over Konate if Konate leaves at some point. I also think he's good enough to push Konate, and he is an Arne Slot centre-back. He's a ball-playing centre-back. And if we want to play the ball like we are doing right now, overplaying the ball at the back, then Gehi would be better on it than a Konate for me. Gehi and Lakeba would be nice, but Lakeba is too pricey. Maybe Nkape, like him a lot, says Fred players. I think Lakeba is a very good player. A very good player. Maybe another season at Leipzig. See what happens there. Maybe next season. We've got to think about as well, in 2 years' time, unless Van Dijk does stay on again, unless he does sign an extra contract, but in 2 years' time, Van Dijk and Salah leave. We need to look at Van Dijk's replacement at some point as well. Naj's in. Hello, everyone. Remember to hit the like on the stream. Thank you, everyone, for watching. If you are watching, make sure you do subscribe to the channel if you are new, and also hit that like button as well. Gehi, Cresswell. Yeah, obviously, Cresswell, yep. Cresswell was looked at the other day. Obviously, there was a report about us scouting Cresswell in France. So would be an interesting one. Gehi and Cresswell would be two good players I would bring in, but I still think we need 2. We definitely need 2 centre-backs. 1 centre-back is an absolute cert. If we don't get 1 centre-back in, then that's really, really dangerous going into the season if we don't get another centre-back in. We can't let Kwanzaa go and have Gravenberch as an option as centre-back. That is ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. Like I said, I thought personally, when they were set up today, when the first lineup came out, I was on my way to football, so I thought I'd have a look at the lineup, and Martin was sort of like, I think Lewis Steele put it out, and it looked like Martin played centre back. That's why I thought, and Martin's a natural DM, so it made more sense for Martin to be there than Gravenberch to be there. Because a natural DM, a defensive-minded player, would suit centre back more than a not defensive-minded player, if that makes sense. Shame Hater didn't wait until eventually replaced VVD. How old is Questwell? I know he's young. I don't know how old Questwell actually is, you know. I've watched him a couple of times, but I watched him enough to give my full opinion on him. Eden said, Jen, sorry I couldn't jump out. Don't worry, mate. Don't worry. I've been very busy today. I mean, obviously, travel up to play football and then come back. And I thought, you know what? I wasn't going to actually do a stream time. I wasn't actually going to do one. But I thought, you know what? I'll watch the match back. And if I've got time, I'll do a quick stream on it and recap it and have my thoughts on it as well. But yeah, like I said, today's game, I won't worry too much Liverpool fans. 4-2, let the rivals laugh. Let the Newcastle fans, the Arsenal fans, the Man United fans. Arsenal beat AC Milan the other day as well. So they're going to be laughing. Let them laugh. It's pre-season. But one thing I won't lie to you about is things do concern me. But positives today, let's talk about positives. Rio and Gamoa. Said him all the time. What a player this guy is. Not scared at all. And that's what you need to look at in youngsters. Players that want the ball. Rio Gamoa wants the ball. He doesn't care who he's against. He doesn't care what player he's up against. He wants the ball and says, let me at him. That is what kind you need to look at with players. Youngsters especially. Oh, don't say that, Naj. Maybe we've gone to the free agent market. 22 said John and Beefy. Yeah, so yeah, 22 for Cresswell. Rio Gamoa, big positive. I think what did shock you today is the importance of players playing in the right positions. So obviously it's tried it now with the 210s today. Sometimes obviously the 210s do work, but what you're seeing is they're making the same runs. They're getting in each other's way. But they're thinking the same. 10s think the same. You can't have really 210s in certain situations. It worked against Man City because against Man City, we didn't have most of the ball. Man City had all the ball. So that 210 sort of worked. But when we are in possession, for me, 210s do not work. We need a striker. It's so important to our specialist players in their specialist places. And a lot of people are going to learn that this season. And this is why we can't just have players just fitting in anywhere. And Gravenberch being a centre-back. We need a striker that makes different runs to what you would see with Wirtz and Elliott. And it showed that today for me. It showed that today. But I think with those two, I still want to keep Elliott, you know, guys. I still want to keep Elliott. I just think it's too good on the ball and it's too technically gifted to lose someone like that. But it needs first team football at the same time. I think Elliott would be perfect backup to Wirtz. I do. I really do. But then is he happy to be backup? It doesn't seem like he is. It seems like he does want first team football and he does deserve first team football. It's just a shame, and it really is a shame. He needs to hurry up and get centre back because this Friday I have 2 weeks for centre back, and that's scary going to the season. Yeah, it's not long for the season now. 3 weeks. If Gakpo got injured, we wouldn't rely on Rio, 17-year-old. He gets burned out. That's what I'm saying. But that's why, for me, if Diaz goes, which is looking likely right now, isn't it? Let's be honest. If Diaz goes, we do need a left winger. I'll never play that can play across the line, across left wing or maybe right wing. That's what we need. Like I said, we need to make sure we're giving Rio and Gamoa and Trey Nyone. These two are the star guys that are coming out of the academy, and I think McDonald as well. McConnell is looking very, very good as well in the academy. But regarding Rio and Gamoa, we need to bed him in right. And I want to see him this season in the first team at some point. I want to see some first team minutes, cup games possibly, odd Champions League games if we don't need to win. Maybe some Premier League squads as well. Maybe it's certainly in the squads because remember that we've got to make 5 subs. We can make 5 subs now, So to have him on the squad, I think it's not too bad. But again, you can't throw him into the deep end so quick. We need Gehi and Leone said, no Diaz today due to Liverpool and buying an advance. It's pretty much like Isak in it. And this is why I don't want... we need to get rid of Diaz. If you don't want to be here, you don't be here. It's pretty much what Eddie Howe did with Isak. And we're saying to Isak to leave. We've got to let Diaz leave, I think. Do you think we're overcrowding ourselves up front? It seems... I just think we're trying to do too much. That's what it seems to me from what I saw today. We're trying to do too much, trying to do overplaying the ball, overpassing. And I said we're trying. I said, did I say the other week in the tactics thing? I think we're trying to overcrowd the box. I think we're trying to just get everyone into the box. And it seems to be that way. We are doing that, and sometimes you get in the way. This is why 210s, when in attacking sense, when you control the ball, 210s don't work because they think the same. They do the same runs. You need a specialist 9 in there. If we keep Harvey, do we sell Jones? No, we're definitely at depth though, Jeremy. Jones is good depth. It's very good depth. I think Jones is always going to be a very good squad player that we need. Unless we brought another midfielder in, but I doubt it. Elliott isn't Liverpool standard for me. I get what you mean. First team wise, it's probably not. But he's very he's like Curtis Jones, really. He's good, probably a good squad player for us. But I think he can start games as well. I think he's better than Curtis Jones. That's why the game was so important, so Slot can see where he has to strengthen. Do you know what's mad? Rio was 9 when Salah joined. That's crazy. That's crazy. Rio Gomez is unbelievable. I think tomorrow we'll get a bomber to Diaz to Bayern. I think once we get Diaz to Bayern, I think we'll push harder on Isak as well. I think we might see some bids for Isak, potentially. I was going to get up the latest on Isak because there was a little report out earlier. Yeah, Isak doesn't want a new contract with Newcastle. He wants Liverpool, and Newcastle know this. That was the update on Isak, and there's an update also on Diaz with Gavin Romano. It looks like Liverpool have accepted Luis Diaz's desire to leave the club. You don't want to keep a player that don't want to stay here. And this is why I'm the way I am with Newcastle fans. Do you really want a player that wants to be at your club that doesn't want to stay there? I feel the exact same way as Diaz. If he wants to go, then it's fine. We'll just go get someone else. It's absolutely fine. You're not going to get the right mentality from him. You saw last season Trent's mentality change. His head was out of the door at one point. So Nunes has also not played today. Possible related to Al Hilal. Was it Al? I don't think it was Al Hilal actually that came in for Nunes yesterday. It was Al Hilal, wasn't it? It was Al Hilal that came in for Nunes yesterday. I forgot Dirk, great little player. He is, but is he ever going to be the Liverpool? Maybe he needs another loan potentially. I don't know. How many times can you loan players out? Well, you can keep doing it if you want. If you're Chelsea, I've been told off for doing Isak streams. Mention him too much. Who's telling you off, Naj? Who's telling you off to saying Isak? Which fan base will be pissed off you mentioning Isak? Rio's awesome. Wirtz was out of this world, says Jen. Yeah, these two are massive positives from today. Massive positives. With the reports, Newcastle going for strikers like Sesko Vissa, it's like Newcastle are now opening door for Isak to be sold. It seems that way. It seems like Liverpool are starting to accept now, well, it's just been there reported. Liverpool are starting to accept that Diaz is going. I think Newcastle are starting to accept now that Isak's probably going. But Newcastle have a big problem. Brentford ain't selling Vissa at the moment. Viss is kicking up a fuss with Brentford because it looks like they're not letting him go to Newcastle. Man City are going for the Livramento. I want to say, you know what? I want to say I feel sorry for Newcastle, but fuck them. The amount of abuse I've had in the last 2 weeks, just all you have to do is go onto our TikTok page, right? The amount of abuse I've had in the last 2 weeks from Newcastle fans, just for even saying Isak's name. Never once said he's joining us. Never once said he's joining us. The sheer abuse I got from Newcastle fans, fuck them. I think it's hilarious. And if Livramento goes to Man City, I know it hurts us because he's a very good player joining one of our title rivals, I'll laugh. I hope the only players left for them are Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Højlund. That's the only strikers you can have. Newcastle. After us getting Isak. Manchester needs to hurry up with the bid so we can get Isak and hopefully then a centre back. Cost the job. Yeah, I know, but let him be, Nige, let him be. They're just venting the frustrations out on us when it's nothing to do with us really. Turn on notifications. Don't make sure the upcoming news. Smash the likes and subscribe. Said Beefy. Yeah, please do hit that notification bell. Hit that subscribe button. We hit the 1K subscribe last week. We're looking for now 1.5K, and we are also looking to hit the likes as much as we can. Hitting the like button takes you 2 seconds, but it helps us out immensely. What's happening with Rodrigo? That's gone very, very quiet, David Rodrigo. Right now, I think Rodrigo's on holiday. What right now needs to happen is a talk between Rodrigo and Real Madrid. A bit like what he did with Isak and Newcastle. Liverpool waited for that. We waited for the talk between Isak and Newcastle, and it seemed like Isak told them he wanted to go. Now it's quite similar to Rodrigo. I won't believe James Pearce what he said the other day. Like we're not interested in Rodrigo. I think we are. I just think it's more of like we're not going to fully go for it unless he is absolutely available and Diaz goes potentially. I think we are fully focused right now on Isak. That's the situation with that. Do we look at Rodrigo if Diaz goes? I don't know. Because if we're going to get Isak and Rio is absolutely shining right now in pre-season and we need centre-backs as well, then we might sort of like push it off a little bit, potentially. I want to say that. But I would get Rodrigo anyway because he can cover all bases. And we've got the already made Salah replacement there when Salah leaves in 2 years. If he does leave in 2 years, it makes sense to me to get Rodrigo if we can get him cheap. Well, not cheap. You're not going to get him cheap, but you're going to get cheaper than what they're asking. But if he becomes available, I think it'd be silly for Liverpool not to be in there. Will not happen. Apparently, agent fees are too high and asking for too high wages. Yet, well, when players do that, they ruin themselves from a move, don't they? They ruin themselves from a move when they do that. Osimhen did the same thing. Osimhen wanted too much. So yeah, they ruin themselves of the move when they ask for too much. At the end of the day, sometimes if you want to play for the biggest clubs or be more ambitious, sometimes you got to take a wage loss. Sometimes. Diaz and down tools in training. Well, Slot says Nunez and Endo along with Maka and Gomez. I don't think the Diaz is kind of player to down tools because he's a very hard worker. You see how hard worker he is on the pitch. He's always been like that through his life. He's worked hard to get where he is as Diaz. Very hard. I don't think he'd ever down tools. His work rate's too high for that. But his head might be elsewhere. Amrin, first man just sacked. What do you think? Said Beefy. You know what, Beefy? I'll be honest. I can't fucking stand Man United more than anything, right? But I think Amarim's a good manager, and I think he's the right manager for them. If he's backed properly, I think he's the right manager for him. You know why? He doesn't take shit. If he sees a problem, he'll sort it, and he doesn't. He'll tell you if you shit, you shit. A bit like Slot, he's quite honest about things, and I think that's what Man United needed. They needed a manager to tell him. Really, I think he's a good manager. Do I think he's a title-winning manager? I think he needs backing certainly. At Man United, he was a very good manager at Sporting Lisbon. He was one of our options at Liverpool, and I took him at Liverpool at this point. But he's really tested himself and has gone into the deep end with Man United right now. And can he get him the armband to get out? I don't know. Where does everyone think Newcastle will finish next season? Bottom. Fuck them. Next week there's going to be a movement. I can feel it's a fight, but yeah, the next 72 hours I'd say is very, very important regarding Isak, regarding anything else. Domino effect, Diaz, Nunez. I can see things happening. I really can. This Isak saga will take 1 to 2 weeks for me. Last night, actually, Fraser, we actually predicted our dates. I think that we said Isak was going to join Liverpool officially. It's got to be official by Liverpool. I said the 12th of August. I think I did. Going back on last night's show. Send a basket of sweets to Paul Mitchell. Yeah, for messing up the deal between the new deal. He certainly should buy a pint for him anyway. Rodrigo 50-50, but Rio could be a backup to Gakpo. I like him being backup Gakpo because I think he's good enough. But again, we've got to make sure. Luckily, Gakpo's not really injury prone. touch wood. I'm touching wood here, so I'm not jinxing it. But I really like Gakpo's header was fantastic today as well. Very good run from him. But we need a different kind of player to Gakpo on that wing. And I think Rio gives that, because Rio's I'm gonna take you on player, go wide. Gakpo's a cut inside shoot player. We can't rely on Rio. He's on 17. Said he will get burned out. Says Mark. Isak all day long. Rodrigo plays for himself. 1st of August said Beefy. Is it gonna happen? Said Owen. Is it gonna happen? Isak. I hope so. And I am leaning towards that it is going to happen because of the whole noise around it and the fact that Isak is pushing for it a little bit now. But yeah, I do think it happens. I think really we need to really look at the defence, centre back specifically. Nice idea. Thoughts on Tsimikas? I've always said the same about Tsimikas. You know I have, Naj. You know I have. I'd rather him go than Robbo. He's just not good enough, is he? Kirk is going to be number 1. Robbo's going to be number 2. What is the point in having Tsimikas? He can just go play somewhere else. And he's good enough to play first team football somewhere else. At a good club, a good level. I just don't see the point in keeping 3 left backs for me. And keeping quiet about Isak now, said Be Fair. XTK can also play left if Isak comes in. He can play left, Jennifer. Which would cover again if Gakpo's not there. And he does drift left. When he does play drift left, he likes to get in behind defenders from the left, which is good. So he can play there. It's certainly be an option. Wirtz can play left. Soboslai can play left if needs be. So it's not major we need a left winger, but I think a Rodrigo would be perfect because it covers many areas. It's just, again, the price of Rodrigo and how much else they have to pay for wages and things like that. If that's a problem, then is John Henry? I've not seen that, Jen. I've not seen that. Is John Henry actually coming to UK this weekend? He's probably coming to complain about fucking something, isn't he? Remember last time when he came across, right? And we thought, he's getting the Caicedo deal done. He's getting the Caicedo deal done. And all he came about was to complain about Chelsea. He's going to come and complain about Newcastle keeping Isak. Henry is there for big reason, big money, said he, for Isak. Yeah, I mean, we've already spent enough. He's looking for his wallet. Fireburn. He's looking for his wallet. He knew he dropped it somewhere and he dropped it at the parade. He dropped his wallet at the parade. That's why he's coming back. I know. He dropped his wallet at the parade. It's either that or we had like Mikel Arteta tactics and someone took his wallet. And he's come back to find out who. It's like a mystery. It's like one of them murder mystery nights you get. I don't think we're going to get a centre back, to be honest. We better get a centre back, Owen. We better get a centre back. I'm not having anything. I'm not having Gravenberch as an option at centre back. Not a chance. By the way, everyone worried about Liverpool having a stacked front line. Don't worry, we need to worry. Prime United had Tevez, Berbatov, Chikorita, and other forwards. And Ronaldo and Rooney at the time as well. Yeah. I mean, back in the 90s, when I was speaking to this, my uncle's a Man United fan. So I ring him up sometimes. I was speaking to him about, he's saying, "Oh, how are you going to get Isak and Nektika? Why do you need somebody to strike?" I said, you had fucking 4 strikers in the 90s. You had Cole, Sheringham, Solskjaer, and fucking York. And that was back when depth wasn't massive. The more the better. More options to play yet. His wife took his wallet. Someone took his wallet. I still want to know what was in that drink at that parade. I've always asked that. If we don't buy a centre back, we could suffer big time. I think we do. I think it's a big mistake. If we don't buy a centre back this summer, we are playing a dangerous game, and we've not learnt from what happened before. It feels the exact same as the one when we went in centre back with the season when we set 3 centre backs 200 per on, and we started crying about injuries. It wasn't injuries that killed the season; it was us not preparing for the season, and it felt the exact same way with the midfield. When the midfield crumbled, and a lot of people could see the midfield crumble. Some were very, very. They either never kicked a ball or they're doing that. It was clear within the midfield. The midfield crumbled in the season. I mean, it was so obvious to see that was going to happen, and we didn't bring a midfielder in. I don't want to make that same mistake again. We've done fantastic business so far. Unbelievable business. And brilliant additions. But we can't be left short in areas that can hurt us. We can't. I tell you what's going to be very, very important this time, because what I saw from Bradley today as well, if he had a poor game, Bradley today, is when we're playing on the front foot like that, and we ain't got a centre back, and we ain't got a proper DM, the reliance on Kirkes and Frimpong to get back is going to be massive because of their legs and how fast they are. Very relied on them. If we don't think it's Della and Gomez back up, to be honest, I'm not sold on Della. I think Della's shown some promise, but again, you can't really have him just straight as backup because it's a lot of pressure. If we lose a player, we can't have Gomez as. I just think we're playing a dangerous game. I think we are. But if we do sign a centre back, if we do buy Isak, guys, I will let you know on here ASAP. Make sure you do hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new for all your latest Liverpool news and transfer news and much, much more. We're going to have match reactions. I don't have a proper match reaction thumbnail yet. We're going to get a new match reaction thumbnail up for the season starting. We're going to have new graphics, new ideas. We've got some big plans for the season. So thank you everyone for joining us tonight. Make sure you hit the like button. And also, I will speak to you all tomorrow, guys. Have a good night.